So I have a question for you. If you're a real estate agent, are you totally on target right now this year during an adjusting market? Are you totally on target to help as many people as you plan this year to buy or sell real estate? Are you hitting your goals right now, or are you starting to panic because the market is adjusting? If you're having difficulty, or you just want to take your business to the next level, stop chasing transactions and start attracting more business, you've got to check out this entire video, me and Andrew Smith talking about what we're using right now and how we are helping agents and ourselves and teams across the country increase their business, have a business worth owning by attracting business and stop chasing transactions. Check this out. What's up, Andrew?
How's it going today, Troy?
And it's so wonderful. It's just super, super splendid talking to agents, talking to clients, talking to people, and now I'm talking to you. So lots of talking today, bro.
Well, make sure you keep hydrated, right? Got to keep those vocal cords. Don't you have some special drops for the vocal cords or something?
Yeah, there's actually spray. You know, I used to sing in a band. There was spray that I would use, you know.
Oh, I'm sure there was spray.
There was spray, man.
Oh my gosh. We're
time.
off on a good start today for everybody, aren't we?
Video. That's a whole nother video, bro. So
a whole other video. Send Troy a private message if you'd like that video done at some point, and he'll explain it for you.
Explain how that works. It keeps your vocal cords lubricated.
That's nice.
Really what the bottle says. So
nice. Who came up with the marketing on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But speaking of marketing, man, in talking to agents across the country, you know, some are just lighting the world on fire right now. They're really kicking major butt because they're staying laser focused on what their game plan is. And others are just falling short and they're panicking over what we're seeing as an adjusting market.
Yeah, absolutely right. And last week we did a video specifically talking about the fact that there's agents that were getting really nervous. Right. And let's face it, the interesting thing right now is the market has been so good for so long. We can now have agents that would be considered veterans that have never known another market and wonder what's going on. Right. And so, and that's not a negative comment whatsoever. It's great. But there are agents out there right now that over the last few years have been successful in spite of themselves, right? Because there's just been a lot of business. I mean, the market pre-COVID was great, right? I mean, it was a good, strong, solid market. COVID hit. And if you remember at that point in time, you and I used to joke about it, is we'd see a video, we'd read a report, and it was doom and gloom. The sky is falling. The economic uncertainty and the economic shutdown as a result of COVID, real estate market was going to be devastated. And we were going to see a wave of a tsunami of foreclosures was actually what they said, worse than what we'd seen before. And here we are just over 2 years later. And where are they? What's happened? Right. So none of those predictions came true. You and I were one of the few that said, hang on a minute. I don't think so. This isn't like before. Right. We took some flack for that.
Well, but we watched the market, and there were times, just to be honest, that, you know, I had investors saying this is going to tank, and my answer to them was, well, if it does, be prepared, because there was times that it felt like, oh man, maybe this market is really going to shift, especially like you said during COVID, and we had all these restrictions, and as you and I have discussed ad nauseum, you know, it was hard to show a home. There were rules and restrictions to even show a property, and people didn't want buyers walking through their property. And I did have investors go, dude, this is going to tank the market. And we just watched. And I think that's what, I think that's part of our point, is that we kept watching the market. We didn't buy into the hype of what was going to happen, what was predicted to happen, the tsunami, as you said. And we kept watching, and we kept working with our clients. We kept giving them pure data of what's truly happening in the real estate sector. It's no different than the stock market, right? We can talk about different stocks all day long, but unless you look at the K1 and you know what they're going to do, you kind of don't know. But so you have to watch the market and educate yourself. And as real estate agents, we have to educate our clients on where we're at today. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but where we're at today.
No, you're absolutely right. And one of the reasons we were saying that is, if you think about it, the reports that came out and what the investors saw and what we were hearing was unemployment had spiked. So therefore, if people are unemployed, they can't afford their homes, which means that the homes are going to end up in foreclosure, which means that all of these properties will come to market, which in theory sounds great. But in reality, again, just like you just perfectly said, you've got to dig into those numbers. Unemployment did spike, but who was affected? The service sector was affected greatly. The office worker wasn't really impacted at all. They ended up shifting to a work from home environment. The vast majority of people that were impacted by unemployment were people that were more prone to renting than owning a home anyway, right? So if you look at, and that's not, being a negative comment in there, but you had a lot of waiters, waitresses, bartenders, people that worked amusement parks, hotels, maids, different service sector that is not a huge homeowner percentage of the population. So as a result, when you actually started looking at the numbers and understanding this, when people could work from home, and let's face it, no one knew that the work from home phenomenon was going to take off the way it did. Now, all of a sudden, there's still companies to this day that are remote and are talking about making a huge portion of their workforce that way permanently.
Well, and to add to what you're saying, the sector that's really being affected right now is the commercial industry, because you have complete offices. I know of a bank on the East Coast that they just leased a 3-story building and COVID hit, and they're not going back there. So the owner of that building and that company are negotiating how to get out of that lease because people are working from home. The company doesn't need to provide the office space. That's who's being affected more than residential buyers and sellers.
Yeah, you've definitely got, you've got pockets where commercials, they're coming back in. They've had enough of the work from home, but they're doing it in smaller. They don't need as much space as they had before. So you've got many different things playing out. The point is it's not a one size fits all. And as agents, right, I think the biggest thing that we're trying to reiterate to agents today is there's going to be a lot of different opinions out there. And if you're confused by what's going on, think about your clients, think about your buyers and sellers. They're seeing the headlines, and the headlines are based on fear, not fact in many cases. And I've watched video after video and seen headline after headline where I'm looking at going, oh my gosh, that sounds awful. And I read the article, I'm like, it didn't say that at all. That's not the conclusion that was drawn, right? And so it's important to remember in that if you want to insulate yourself from the market that's coming, and I even hate to say that, I got to be honest with you, because it makes it sound like a massive downturn is coming. Now, while nobody has a crystal ball that I've ever met, we know that things are going to shift and change. But you may have noticed, even in the past couple of weeks, even the major media outlets have backed off their bubble and crash talk.
Yeah.
Because there is no bubble and crash coming, people. There will be a softening in certain markets. There will be areas that are going to feel a cooling of the market more than others. But as of right now, unless something drastic happens, there is not going to be a crash. The data doesn't support it. As a matter of fact, just this last week, in the Home Price Expectation Survey, which looks at 100 leading economists for real estate on what is going to happen going forward, they are all forecasting price appreciation over the next 4 years. Even the most pessimistic of economists out there foresee price increases over the next 4 years. You know, a report from Moody's, who were generally on the cooler side of the equation, is not forecasting any negative coming into the housing market. So for agents out there, there's plenty of resources. Altos reports are fantastic. Keeping Current Matters is a great resource, and they provide information. Your local MLS, know how many homes are being listed, know how many homes are going under contract, follow how many homes are getting price reductions. Those are really, really important. So if you want to prepare for the market cooling and homes not getting 50 offers in 5 days, and you want to know what to tell your clients, you need to get out on video, you need to be out there on social media, and you need to be a voice of reason, not just your opinion. Everything we've said to you today, we can back up with fact. I can link to the articles, can give you all the information. It's not just us saying this, but there's experience you gain over the years, right? And then your clients are begging for your experience. They want to know that things are going to be okay. And if they're not, tell them that. Information can change weekly, but you need to be out there educated yourself and saying, look, guys, here's what this means. You know, you and I were just talking a little while ago, and I saw a report talking about new home construction has ramped up so much that we're going to end up with a glut and an oversupply because demand is going to drop because of the mortgage rates. And therefore, prices are going to have to come down because we've got a flood of inventory. And, you know, I shared the data with you. And the thing is, when you look at historical levels of new construction in this country, we've been underbuilt for 14 years in a row, right? We built more homes in 1973 than we've built in any of the last 14 years. Now, do you think the population of this country's gone up in the last 50 years? Oh, wait a minute, millennials, aren't they the largest generation ever? Oh, wait a minute, they're how old right now? Oh, prime home buying age.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure 2 + 2 isn't adding up here, right? But it's important for you as agents to understand this and to dig into those numbers so that you have them. And again, it's not to convince anyone one way or the other on what's going to happen. You can interpret the information as best you can, but you want to share that information with your clients so that they can make the best decision for them, because that's the most important thing.
For sure. And this is where rubber's going to hit the road. So anyone that's a newer agent, meaning you've been licensed less than I don't know, let's say the last 5 to 10 years, right? I mean,
That's funny to say newer. 10
right.
years in the business and you're newer.
Newer. Well, because really we've been spoon fed. Think of the number of agents or the people that have gotten licensed in just the past 10 years. And I saw this happen in 2007 through 14 during the short sale REO era, they call it, right? For headline purposes. The fact is that people got into the business. Most agents get into the business because number one, they think they're going to make a lot of money and not work very hard. Matter of fact, you and I have joked about this with newer agents, whether they're brand new or they've only been in a few years, they have a business card, therefore they will sell homes and make $100,000 a year. And the reality is the agents that last in the industry, that actually build a business, attract business, and stop chasing transactions, do exactly what you and I are talking about. We're basically educators and navigators. We educate the general public, and this is per location, because Phoenix is different from Temecula, and Temecula is different from Frisco, and Frisco is different from Dallas, and Dallas is different from Austin. And we can list every city in the country, but location wise, as an agent, you have to be the expert. When you become the expert of your market area and you put that information out to put people at ease, because just like the news, the national news is talking about national and global stuff that may not be affecting you at your grocery store today, or it may be. Well, how would you know unless you got the information from someone local? So as an agent, you will build your business by being the informer, the information provider of what's happening in the local market right now today. We were talking a little bit earlier about the different rubber hitting the road and, being in the jungle of real estate and taking the machete and cutting through all the branches to see clearly. Well, that's what our clients need to see. If what you're saying, and I agree with you, if we're going to see appreciation for the next 4 years, if it's 1%, 3%, 10%, 20%, doesn't matter what it is, with everything we've talked about, people working from home, they have a need to buy a larger home. The millennials are buying homes. Millennials are having babies. They're buying bigger homes. The baby boomers are downsizing. The Gen X and Gen Z, or however you're labeling everyone, they're all making moves and adjustments. We haven't even touched on the investors that are leveraging at record rates right now.
Right. Yeah. It's the bottom line today is, educate yourself. And if you're not educated, you can't educate your potential client. And get out there, stop chasing, right? And start marketing you. We're going to go into that a lot over the next few weeks on what that means is, but you want to be known as the go-to, right? You want to become, the online real estate expert for your area. You've got to be seen on social. And it's not just a matter of saying, I just sold this, I just listed this. Nobody cares.
No,
what they want to know is what the current market means for them.
I'm so
right?
tired of seeing that. I'm so
Yeah.
And the other thing I'm tired of seeing, if you're an agent watching this video and if you don't like me for this, I'm fine with this. I will sleep well at night. The next agent that posts, I just sold the home for 10 grand above list price. Please, if you're not getting 10 grand above list price and you did the numbers right and you priced it low, you're just feeding your own ego.
Right. The public, that's not going to help the public, and it's not going to help your cause going forward. What you want to do is you want to be yourself. You want to get out there and you want to share the information. If you've got concerns about the market, share them, because other people do as well. The more relatable you become, the more business you will attract. But you've got to start, especially now as things are shifting a little bit. And let's be honest, Troy, I mean, we've been selling some property in Southern California recently. What we're seeing in the market there and what we're seeing here in Frisco, Texas is not the same thing by any means. I mean, it's still pedal to the metal, foot to the floor here, about as hot can be. And you're not quite seeing that everywhere. The market right now, as it starts to shift and move a little bit, it's going to be different from city to city to city to city. And that's what you've got to become the expert in. Whatever your local area is, get out there, share the information. And if you need help in what to share, how to share it, please reach out. We'd be more than happy to help you with that. Okay, so put a comment below, direct message either one of us, and we'll help you not be scared and to educate your clients as we go forward.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, basically what we're getting at right now is be the expert, be the professional that you want to be in this industry. Get out there and get the news out there. And remember, you're an advocate for each one of your clients. You have to educate them on what's going on. The one last point that I want to say is if you guys think as real estate agents that the market is going to tank, even though we're getting emails now from builders that are saying, hey, we've got these 5 lots available when we didn't have that just a couple of weeks ago, or we have this inventory coming up, go take a client out and put a bid on that house and watch where the price goes. If you're not educated on what's happening in the local market, your buyers are going to be disappointed, and eventually they're going to find an agent that understands what's going on in the market. Sometimes, because it becomes so easy to get your license, people just go, again, I have my business card, therefore I'm an agent. And then they wonder why they're not selling homes, or they wonder why they fall out of the business in a couple of years. Our objective in all of this is to help you build your business so that you're here in 10 years from now, that we can have these conversations with you to go, wow, man, remember back in 2005 when things were crazy? Because Andrew and I can talk about that. We were in the business. So be informative, talk to people, show them what's really going on, and then put your ego aside. If they're not ready to make the move because it doesn't work for them, keep going. Keep the pedal to the metal, keep rocking out and get there. You're going to find those people because people are buying and selling. The sky is not falling. I've heard it from a couple of agents last week, what a difficult time they're having. And when we started going through what they're actually doing, is they're just doing the same stuff every other agent is doing.
Yeah. Get out there, be informed. And like I said, if you need help, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help you with it, and set you up in a position for long-term success, as that's what the goal is. So,
And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe and hit the alert, because we're updating stuff every week. There's new topics we're talking about every week. So if you subscribe and you hit the alerts, then you're going to be alerted right away, and you're going to be the first one to see what's happening. Don't be late to the party. Don't be
absolutely.
late on this, and don't be late to the party in real estate. Don't look back upon this in 2-3 months and go, oh man, I shouldn't have been the doom and gloom guy, or I shouldn't have been the salesperson that said, hey, don't buy a home now, wait 3 months. Because we have clients right now we're working with that started the beginning of this year, and now they can't buy a home because they were stuck in that bubble. They thought the market was going to crash, even though we told them the numbers today are this.
Right.
So,
Right. Stay informed, get the message out there, and let us help you.
yeah, good
So
time.
with that, my friend, let's go help some people out, some clients out there ourselves.
Yeah, let's go list and sell some properties and rock the world.
Have a great one.
All right, brother. Talk to you.